What's up, guys? It's Zell Media here, and I'm presenting chapter 1080 of One Piece, Garp, the legendary hero. And boy, is this chapter legendary. This might be the best chapter all year. Again, I'm gassing it pretty hard, but Oda might turn around and drop another week of heat. He might turn around and drop another week of heat. We don't know. We just don't know. That being said, there is a break. Well, there was a break. This video is coming out pretty late. So there will be a chapter this Sunday. But there was a break that week. And now we're getting back into it again. The cover art this time is Hiyori and Kawamatsu folding paper cranes. This is awesome. I love that it's like a peek back into where we left, the Wano we just left. Hopefully it's canon. But if it's not, that's okay. I'm excited to see the next cover art, and then once that's done, we should hopefully be getting Decks of the World, because again, we had the Germa cover story from all the way back in Wano, so hopefully we get Decks of the World in this new cover art, or in this new cover serial. But time to get into the chapter. We start off in Hachinosu Island, okay? Full lead for those of you who read the official viz. And it is chaos going on. It's absolute chaos. Kobe has escaped, and he seems to have set all of the prisoners free. The slaves. We're going to call them prisoners, though, just because. So he set all the prisoners free, and this has caused quite the stir-up on the island, and he's escaped himself. We also get to see the introduction of the Cross Guild bounty system, which is essentially for 1 star you get 100 million berries, for 1 crown you get 500 million berries. We don't know for certain that that's the gauge, but because it seems to be like you could go from 1 star to 5 stars, I would imagine that after that all 5 stars is worth 1 crown. And as such, the 3 crown people that we saw in the last couple of bounties from the Cross Guild, those people would be worth like 1.5 billion berries, right? Which is like almost Yonko commander level, right? Like that's a pretty steep bounty. So really interesting to learn more about the Cross Guild and how they set things up. It seems that they regularly judge captains at about 100 million, so 1 star. But Kobe himself, he's a 5-star recruit. So good job for the boy, putting in the hard work, getting his name recognized. Okay? Moving forward, we see the island start talking, which is crazy until we realize that it's actually the man with the island fruit, Avalo Pizarro. Okay, and Pizarro, I really like this. Like, the island fruit seems kind of weird, but I love how, like, fun Oda was being with making the skull talk. And then also, on top of that, Pizarro, the corrupt king, now he's, like, bound to the island, essentially as, like, the ultimate defense. It kind of reminds me of, like, the big father, like, of Capone Beige, and that's another like castle themed, rook themed kind of like the king is the most important. So I really like that. I like defensive fruits. I don't know why, but I really like them. Moving forward, we get to see Pizarro inform the island that they need to chase down Kobe. As he can't do it himself. Shiryu comments on this, and from what I gathered from the conversation between him and Pizarro, it's different in the subs and the dub, or in the subs and the official. But it's that Pizarro just doesn't feel like doing it. Like he could do it, but it would be disruptive to the city, and as such, he's avoiding doing it. He's going to get someone else to do it. Fasco Shot then decides to set out himself to go and try and do it. But Pizarro like goes crazy on him, thinking that he's gonna set the city on fire. Um, and then we also find out that Rocky Port is on Hachinosu. It is a port of Hachinosu Island, and as such, it is where the Rocky Port incident occurred. We also get to see San Juan Wolf, and we get the confirmation of all of these guys' devil fruits as well. Shiryu as the invisible or the clear fruit, um, and making him an invisible man. The Isle fruit with Alvaro Pizarro. The Glug fruit making Vasco Shot or the heavy drinker a booze man, and finally the huge fruit for San Juan Wolf, making the giant an extra large giant. Beyond that, we get a flashback with Kobe talking about him helping Moria escape and him working with Perona, which is really interesting. We get to see a little bit more about Moria and that he didn't like get absolutely killed when he showed up, which is interesting. I feel like Blackbeard's making a lot more negotiations now than he used to, so we'll see. Maybe that has a factor in Egghead? Question mark? I don't know. So we've seen Perona, and she's only helping so that she could get Moria out of there. And seeing as all the slaves are free now, I'm assuming that Moria and Perona are like running away. From there, we move forward, and we get the first glimpses of. Actually, no, we get first more backstory with Kobe. As he continues running away, an explosion occurs nearby, and he thinks, whoa, what if someone's coming to save me? And he thinks back on the moments with Teach. We find out that Teach wanted to leverage Kobe against the world government to try and gain the position of the king of Hachinosu Island, making it an officially recognized island, and as such he'd be able to participate in the reverie. And I think that was kind of his goal. But I feel like this is such a silly goal. Like, I don't know how he thinks that this is achievable. I don't know. I just don't know. But Kobe reveals himself as a member of SWORD. Aokiji steps in and says and kind of explains what SWORD is as like a squad, like a group of like squad rangers that are kind of like on their own. They've resigned from the Navy in advance so that the Navy can just cut ties with them if their rogue missions go too far for the public eye. So that's why people like probably Garp, people like Kobe, Drake, maybe Aokiji could just go wherever they want because they're members of the Ranger Corps. Interesting. I don't know if it's the whole truth. I don't know if Aokiji's trying to save Kobe's life or let him die to save his skin. It's interesting. I don't think it's the whole truth. Regardless, Blackbeard discredits it and just says, you're still a hero, and I can leverage that by going to the news. So he planned on keeping Kobe. And so we get the imprisonment of Kobe, and now we're back caught up to where we were. Which explosions, and then we start to see all of these different areas of the island and all of these different fruits. We're seeing Prince Groose come through with the clay powers, having a army of Marines that were like Cracker's biscuit soldiers just busting down the walls. Then we get to see Kujaku, the granddaughter of Osuru, from the Great Tactician, like from the old trio of the Marines. Suru's granddaughter, Kujaku, in the family fashion, has a fruit that has the weirdest concept of taming. That's her fruit. It's so wild. There's so much that can be done with it. But right now, she uses it to build a plaza to encircle all the pirates in. Also, Kobe's in that plaza. And then as Kobe gets surrounded by all these pirates ready to kill him. They go to shoot, and Hibari is able to shoot. I don't know if she shot the bullets, but we get to see Vegapunk's flower bullets for the first time in the series. Not canon, because cover stories are canon, but we get to see the flower bullets for the first time in the main core story, which is really awesome. I really love that tie-in. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. I don't care what anybody says. I love it. Oda's a genius. And then, after all that, then we start to get to the real crazy shit. Garp comes in, swinging like a mad lad. This man punches the water and flings his ship into the air over the island, and then jumps off of his ship to drop a galaxy impact. Confirmed Conqueror's Haki. Confirmed Conqueror's Haki use. That is an insane attack. Now, power scaling wise, I'm not certain where it lands, but Garp's living up to his title as a mountain breaker. That's all I'm saying. At least that. This man's folding mountains with one punch. Man's out here looking like Saitama right now. Overall, great showing. Also, we get to see Helmeppo and Tashigi are on board. Overall, great showing. I'm super hyped to see what's going to happen this week. But we just don't know. I want to see more. I want to find out more information because Garp demolished the plaza, but we didn't see anybody get hurt. So I want to see how many people were knocked out, just Conqueror Haki radiation, all that, but maybe we won't get it. Overall, I think this chapter is a 10 out of 10. Now, I think that might be a 10 out of 10 on my personal bias towards Garp, but I think at the very lowest, this chapter is a 9 out of 10. It focused on one thing, that being the story at Hachinosu, and there's maybe like 3 different parts to the chapter. Perfect chapter in my opinion. I think it's amazing, and I'm super pumped for next week. I think next week we won't be seeing any more of Hachinosu though. I'm going to try and make another prediction. I think we're back in Egghead, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something from Dragon. I think that's the sleeper pick, seeing something from Dragon or Sabo, but actually, I think the most likely pick is to see Vivi next chapter. We might see Vivi. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below, and I will see you next week.